Hey everyone, Andrew at Microphonic Designs here at Richardson High School, actually helping them get set up with some new stuff. Now, unlike a lot of the other videos that I've been doing, I'm not actually handling the full installation. One of the directors over here, Dave Schmuck, is handling that. He likes to do it himself, and I'm all about it. Good for you. So with that being said, they did invest in quite a bit of new gear. They've had the Yamaha TF5 for a good while, but they just purchased a new Netgear router with Ubiquity access point that they have. We can get that set up at any time that they need it. The Netgear is new so that they can control the TF5 with their tablet wirelessly. That's always a great thing. And then over here is really where the bulk of it has gone down. So they are currently waiting for some new synth carts to arrive that should be here, in that Bandcamp time frame. They're going to be able to move a lot of stuff into those synth carts. But for now, we've got them living in this mobile 20-unit rack space cart. And so the wireless, we moved from the mixer cart to the front ensemble because my good friend Kent Summer is their program coordinator, show designer person this year, and Kent likes to have all of the soloist stuff go into the computer for processing, for digital processing with reverbs and certain EQs and stuff like that. So we've put the wireless units here so that all of the outputs are going to go into the Focusrite interface. And so we've got 6 inputs on the Focusrite here that are going to receive audio from these. So they'll have plenty of channels for soloists. And then we've also got some interesting stuff happening with the keyboard instruments. So one of the things that Kent requested for this particular setup is a submix of all of the keyboard mics. So all the vibraphone mics, all the marimba mics are going into a pre-fader auxiliary mix in the Yamaha console. And so what that means is that we can have the faders for those channels down and send signal from those channels to auxiliary outputs 9 and 10, which are linked to the second TO box outputs 3 and 4. And that's because we're in the quick config mode. So what that means is that we can get signal from the keyboard mics coming out of outputs 3 and 4 that go into the inputs 7 and 8 of the Focusrite. We can process them in Cubase, which is what Kent likes to use. And then from Cubase, we spit it back out into channels 31 and 32. So on the TO box, it's labeled 15 and 16, but because this is box number 2, these are actually the last 2 channels in the Yamaha TF. So what we have here, these 8 channels, is Cubase outputs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So Cubase outputs are the same as these. So the Focusrite is spitting out the audio from Cubase. The first 2 are Synth 1, left and right. The next 2 is Synth 2, left and right. Then we have a mallet station left and right. And then we have the left-right output mix of the soloists and the keyboard mics. Again, all of that is getting processed digitally in Cubase. And then we send it through outputs 7 and 8 of the Focusrite interface, which come back into the console here. And then we have all of the other inputs, which are going to receive audio from the keyboard mics with a modular snake system. So they'll have like the marimba mics, the vibraphone mics, DTX is going to get plugged in here. And then we have a series of hand drum microphones, djembes, doumbeks, things like that. They're going to get plugged in here. And again, this is a big upgrade for Richardson. They're not using the old classic stage snakes anymore. And then we've also got a Cisco switch here, which allows us to do a network scan with their QLXD wireless units here. And I'll demonstrate that real quick. With all of these linked up, you can tell because they have the little network icon. You can hit the menu button once, twice for network scan. And then we hit enter. It's going to think, and they're all going to communicate with one another. And then we hit enter, and it goes into this party mode. And then after a second, they all have their frequencies deployed and none of them are going to wind up on the same frequency, which is very nice. So that is the network scan, and that's why we've got all of these Ethernet cables going. So yep, and then in Cubase, just to show you, this is what again Kent likes to use for his show design clients. We've got let me use the mouse here. We've got the Synth 1, Synth 2, Synth 3, which is mount station, 4 channels for wireless soloists. At the moment, we could add 2 more. And then you'll see here we've got the keyboards. This is the submix of all of the front ensemble microphones, again, that we have being fed from an auxiliary mix in the console. And that's pre-fader, so that we can simply turn the faders down on those channels and Cubase will still get their signal. So yeah, that's a lot of explanation. I know we didn't look at too much, but that is sort of the gist of what we have going on. So if anyone out there has questions about this, feel free to reach out. There's a lot of advanced routing stuff happening here. But luckily, Dave over here at Richardson is pretty experienced with audio. He normally handles a lot of this himself. But with Kent requesting some special, setup options and all that, they asked for some help to make sure that Kent could do what he wants to do with this show. So that's it, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in, checking this out. And Kent and Dave, this is also for you guys to reference at any time if you need. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.